Men of Reddit, what do women do that they think is okay but is actually creepy? X demanded I take down of a single picture of a platonic female friend who I have known over a decade and who is happily married to a mutual friend of ours. Said picture was part of a cluster of 8 total. The other 7 pictures were just group pictures of said platonic friend and mostly other male friends. Asked their friends to give them explicit details of their sexual encounters, especially if it's with a boyfriend. My girlfriend will get explicit information from her friend about her boyfriend, then pass it on to me. I like the guy and I feel as if I'm invading his privacy. I really don't need to know how he or how big his dick is. It's creepy and I hope she doesn't do the same to me. The way girls share really personal things about guys in relation to sex. Society and the media would have you believe that guys talk about sex all the time and just objectify the women that they've slept with. I don't know if maybe I'm just hanging out with the wrong people, but honestly the most you usually get out of a guy is just that they had sex with a girl, and the only time we discuss details are when you're just like trading stories. But girls tend to like immediately report on things to their friends, and share details that honestly could be embarrassing or uncomfortable for the guy. It makes me really uncomfortable and creeped out to think that if I sleep with a girl's I have to just accept that all of her friends are going to know every detail about the experience, size, performance, how long it lasted, how I look. It just feels like a huge breach of privacy. When women say things like if I were 10 years younger, about underage boys, it's creepy, gives off pedo vibes, and if the genders were reversed you'd call the FBI. It's definitely not most women, but it does happen sometimes. Get pissed off if you are not in the mood for sex. Like, WTF you're a man. You always want to have sex. Do you not like me anymore? No, Andrea. I was just not horny that day and yes I liked you a lot. I've had this happen a few times, but I don't know if it is more common or less common. When I go to a bar for a drink on say a Friday night I usually go with friends. I'll head to the bathroom and sometimes the bar will be crowded so I'll have to slip through a group of people. Several times I'll get rubbed or caressed by women, sometimes on the groin, sometimes on the chest or shoulders. It's not wanted nor am I signaling I want to be touched. Just saying excuse me and going past. It bothers me every time. Maybe not creepy, but FFS stop pulling on my beard and arm hair. Like, that shit is seriously uncomfortable, and pulling out a beard hair stings like hell. It's literally attached to my face. You are in my personal space, tugging my hair, and causing me a little pain. Ladies, I don't care how fun it is. Please stop or I'll make fun of your eyebrows. Please stop or I'll make fun of your eyebrows. Phew, this man is not playing around. Wife bragged to friends about our sex life. We live in a small town and now it feels like everywhere I go, I'm being giggled and smiled at. It's really violating. Unwanted physical contact. Was out to dinner with a bunch of friends coincidentally. They were all women, and the waitress was hitting on me, which involved obvious compliments which I don't care about and putting her hands all over my shoulders and upper chest. We all had a laugh about it after, but I was seriously weirded out by it, and were the genders reversed I guarantee no one would have been laughing about it. Went out with a group of guys last weekend. There were 6 of us and this random girl started hanging around us like a lost puppy and just wouldn't leave. She was attractive, but so obviously desperate for attention that none of our group of guys really cared to give her any. This girl was just looking at everyone, batting her eyes and trying to hug everyone, but the guys were just pawning her off on each other. Not sure if this is pathetic more than creepy, but if a guy did the same thing, he'd be labeled with creepy. So yeah, she was creepy to me. I honestly thought she was a hooker or something trying to sell services or some shit. The way she was approaching dudes. It's not normal. Probably trying to get free drinks. Going to pride events, gay bars and groping the men whether they like it or not. Like off, creep. I don't know if it's just me, but the baby voice plus behavior really puts me off. not exclusively a woman thing, but my ex would screenshot our text conversations and send them to her family and friends for reaction. Like mundane conversations. Not even anything interesting. It felt like a very creepy violation of my privacy. Also, she was an idiot. Hope you see this, Laura. Always asking if I got flirted with, no matter where I go. Did anyone flirt with you? What the hell? It's flag football. Who would flirt with me at flag football? Tell me that my almost 2-year-old son is so handsome and going to break hearts, be a lady killer. If I rolled up to a park and told a mom how good looking her daughter was and that all the boys are going to want her, they'd call the cops. Tickling and getting pissed when I don't like it. Girl, I don't like getting tickled. I really hate it. I don't care that it's some way to show affection, I don't want it, and for f***'s sake it's not my problem and I don't have to man up and take it. What the hell? No means no. Making a new social media account after I block you. Honestly, hands down, women who exploit emotions of men. We may not all cry in the movie theater, but we are not incapable of experiencing deep, painful emotional wounds. In general, it seems to be more acceptable for women to rag on guys for our image, like our height, weight, or income, while the flip side being that men cannot criticize women without being a pig. So yeah, women who nitpick guys for superficial reasons are creepy, arrogant, and covered with more red flags than a game of Minesweeper. Asking password to social accounts or phone. Man, y'all are in some unhealthy relationships. Social media stalking is a little crazy, especially from stuff before I met you. Double standards on sexual harassment. Not creepy, but when a woman sees a single dad with his kid and feels it's okay to tell them they're doing great. I get they may feel like they're being supportive or whatever, but the stigma behind guys not knowing how to raise a child is infuriating. I have 50-50 custody of my child and she's raised brilliantly by both me and her mum. I can guarantee mum never gets random praises just for walking through a shop with our child though. It's not supportive. It's condescending as hell, and please stop. My daughter is an absolute delight and always gets genuine compliments from passers-by. These I take with pride and a smile. The problem is from the people who approach in shock to see a dad alone with his kid and think he's either babysitting or just lost without a woman to tell him how to raise his kid and needs a patronizing pat on the back. Being hypocritical about sexism. Hear about guy hitting girl. What an asshole. Hear about girl hitting guy. Well, what did he do? Older man hitting on much younger woman. What a creep. Older woman hitting on much younger man. You get it, girl. Making small penis jokes. Funny. Making fat jokes about men. Funny. Making short jokes about men. Funny. Making any jokes about a woman's appearance. Super not okay. Being way too open about their sex life. I have never in my life heard a guy describe exactly how his GF's vagina looks like or how she sounds when orgasming. You have to install this GPS tracking app on your phone so I know where you are anytime I want to check. That's a serious trust issue. Yes, it is annoying. I have a friend that whenever she starts dating a guy, just lists me off thing about the dude like she's listing a resume. Never anything about the personality or sense of humor or what characteristics about them she enjoys. It's job, career, college, earnings, house. I had to tell her it was getting creepy because it just sounds like she's getting a checklist to impress people, not find a good person for her. You know what you don't like men doing? You don't get to do that either. Okay, so this is something both me and my brother had happen to us. We are both pretty young, around 20, but we were at some parties where people of all ages were around recently. At one party, we had just finished performing with our orchestra and we were still in our uniforms. Then when I was getting some beers, some random lady of over 40 said to me, "Would you like to change clothes? I want to look like I am in the orchestra." So naturally, I'm like, well, I'd rather not, but she was like, "Oh please." And she kept on trying to talk to me. On another party, some lady, also of over 40, who was really seeking attention, started to hold my brother by the waist. My brother told me he was really weirded out by her. She tried to do this multiple times, even after I lured my brother away by pretending I needed to say something to him. I don't really know if this is something a lot of middle-aged ladies do, but them acting like that really weirded me out, and they seemed to do this as if it was the most normal thing in the world. I'd wager that most women wouldn't do this and wouldn't think this is okay, but my now ex-girlfriend went through my phone without asking for permission. In my experience, not necessarily a majority, but not unusual, which is why I conduct business through burner phones and dead drops. Late to the party, but I haven't seen this mentioned yet. Distributing nudes they get from guys to their friends without permission. I've caught several women doing it and they'll argue about it if asked to stop. Yet another example of it only being an issue if the genders are reversed. That's illegal. You could press charges for that. Girl or boy. As a gay guy, women seem to think that it's okay to touch me in a general way and sometimes even in a more inappropriate way. Lady, I don't know who you are. I don't care who you are. Sure, we had a nice brief conversation, but don't touch me. Don't wrap your hands around my legs so you can gawk at the size of my legs. Don't squeeze my pec, or think that I want a hug despite never having met you before. I am avoiding physical contact not only to be respectful of your boundaries, but because I also have boundaries I don't want you to violate. Consent works both ways. Always. Don't touch me. Touch my ass without consent. Sometimes I just be performing my respiratory responsibilities and I feel a slight touch to my butt, and now I'm uncomfortable and confused because I'm too scared to turn around and find out who dared touch my precious bum.